Hello everyone, welcome to the LRDI practice session. Okay, so today we are going to discuss a case set based on what circular arrangement. Let's look at the case set. 8 persons A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H are sitting around a circular table. Fine. 8 people are there. That means they'll sit opposite to each other. Some of not necessarily in the same order. Some of them are facing the center and the rest are facing away from the center. Okay. So this is the most important line here, because if you don't know the direction of facing, in that case you won't be able to find the left or right of that particular person. The following information is known about them. Each sits to the immediate left of D and is in the opposite position to F. I don't know where D is facing, towards the center or away from the center. So I cannot use this clue right now. C sits adjacent to neither G nor H. I cannot use this clue. A and H sit facing each other. Fine. So if they are sitting facing each other, that means both of them are facing towards the center. So let's draw a figure here. This is a circular table. 8 people. Let's say these are the 8 seats. Fine. C faces the same direction as H. I don't know where H is facing. A and H are sitting facing each other. So H is definitely facing towards the center. That's why C will also face towards the center. B sits second to the right of F. Okay. But I don't know where is the right of F, because F is facing towards the center or away from the center. That is not given. And B sits second to the right of F and faces away from the center. B is facing away from the center. Fine. G and D sit in the opposite direction. So let's assume that this is D and this is G for me. They sit in the opposite positions and they are facing away from the center. This would be the direction of their facing. Fine. So I can use this clue. One more clue is given. Look at this one. E sits to the immediate left of D. This is D. He is facing away from the center. And E is sitting to the left of D. This would be the left of D. So I'll put E here. E sits to the immediate left of D and is in the opposite position to F. That means E and F are sitting opposite to each other. I'll put F here. So I've already placed 4 people and I know the direction of 2 of them. What else is given? Can I use this clue now? C sits adjacent to neither G nor H. So this is G. I cannot put C here. So how many possibilities are left for C? 1, 2 and 3. These are the 3 possibilities left for C. A and H sit facing each other. So this is for sure that A and H will be sitting opposite to each other. Fine. If I put A and H at these 2 places in some order, if you try to put H here, look at this one, and if you put A here, then there won't be any possible cases for C, because if H takes this place, you cannot accommodate C here. In that case, you cannot accommodate C here also, because C sits adjacent to neither G nor H. If H takes this place, C won't be placed here. You cannot put C here. Now there is no place left for C. That means I cannot put H here. Yes or no? So let's remove this one. Let's interchange their places. I'll put H here and A here. A and H sit facing each other. So they're facing towards each other. That means they are looking towards the center. So I'm sure about the seating position of how many people? A, H, G, D, E and F. Now 2 seats are left for me, this one and this one. Yes or no? And I know that C cannot sit adjacent to whom? G and H. There is only one possible case left for C. I'll put C here. Now who's left? Only B. So B will take this place. And it was also given that B is facing towards what? B sits second to the right of F and faces away from the center. So this is B. He's facing away from the center and he's sitting to the right of F. This is F. I don't know the direction of F, but I also know that B sits second to the right of F. B should be on the right of F. That means F is also looking away from the center. This would be the direction of F. So I know the direction of F, B, G, A, H. What about C and D? I know the direction of D also. What about C? C faces the same direction as H faces. Since H is facing towards the center, C will also face towards the center. Do I have any clue about the direction of E? No. Nothing is mentioned about the direction towards which E is facing. So that's all. I cannot find it, the direction of E here. Fine. Now let's look at the questions. How many persons are facing away from the center? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't know the direction of E. And if you don't know the direction of E, the answer for this particular question becomes what? Cannot be determined. Because I don't know where E is facing. Do we know that? Look at this one. E sits to the immediate left of D and is in the opposite position. Nothing is mentioned about the direction of E. So your answer becomes cannot be determined. Who is sitting to the immediate right of F? Let's look at this. Immediate right of F. This is F. F is looking at what? Away from the center. So this would be the right of F. Who is sitting here? G is sitting to the immediate right of F. So my answer becomes second option. Third question. Which of the following is definitely true? E faces the center. No, I don't know where E is facing. C sits to the immediate left of A. C sits to the immediate left of A. Is it true? No, he is sitting to the immediate right of A. This is also false. B and C are facing each other. Let's look at this. Are they facing each other? No. Since C is facing towards the center and B is facing away from the center, this is also false. So by default, your answer becomes what? None of these. Then, fourth one. Three of the following four are alike in a certain way. He's talking about what? Arrangement, and hence form a group. Which is the one that does not belong to that group? C, D. Let's look at it. What's the relationship between C and D? This is C and this is D. Both are facing in the different directions and they are adjacent to each other. Fine. What else? E and D. E and D, I don't know the direction of E, but they are sitting adjacent to each other. So one common thing between the first two pairs would be what? They are sitting adjacent. C and D are adjacent. Second option, E and D are also adjacent. What else? H and B. H and B, they are sitting, they are facing in the different directions, but they are adjacent to each other. Fine. What else? F and G. F and G, they are also adjacent to each other, but they are not in the same direction. So what can be the answer? Either they are looking in the same direction or in the opposite direction. If you look at C and D, they are facing different directions, but they are sitting adjacent to each other. What about D and D? I don't know the direction of E. They are sitting adjacent to each other. What was that third option? H and B. What about H and B? This is H and B. They are also looking what? They are in the opposite direction but sitting adjacent to each other. But this is missing in which option? F and G. If you look at the fourth option, F and G, they are not looking at the opposite direction, but they are sitting in the adjacent places. So what should be the answer? So what should we say? They are adjacent. In all the options, they are sitting adjacent to each other. So let's look at the direction. If you look at it carefully, you can say that except the second option, in all the other options, second person sits to the immediate right of the first person. Second person, look at the first option, it was CD. Now D is sitting to the right of C. But in case of D and E, E was not sitting to the right of D. Fine. Then the third option, what was that third option? If you look at that third option, it's HB. Is B sitting to the right of H? Yes, B is sitting to the right of H. If you look at the last option, what's the last option? FG. F and G. Is G sitting to the right of F? Yes. So what should be the correct answer? Except the second option, in all the other options, second person sits to the immediate right of the first person. That's why my answer becomes what? Second. Say that this was an easy case set, but the key point was what? The direction in which these people are facing. Once you are able to find that, the whole case set can be solved.